You know what is incredibly cruel? The cruelty is the communist Cuban government taking any dollars that come into Cuba and saving it for themselves and not giving any to the people. That's not because of the United States embargo, that's because of communism. It's not the United States embargo that tells foreign businesses that all of their dollars need to be paid into the government first, and then the government will then allocate pay to people of Cuba for their own work. They put in the time. That's not a US embargo, that's the communist government. See, it's not a United States economic embargo that made soldiers go and nationalize businesses, take over farms. No, that was the communist government. I mean, AOC is a limousine liberal. I know that's kind of an older phrase, but I think it's still applicable here. She hates the American system, but she loves Marxism. Cuban protests against the communist government are the last thing that she and Democrats need right now because they're trying to sell these exact same policies here in America. Now, except for instead of using economic disparity and economic division, they're trying to use racial and identity division. They say that if you just give them what they want, racism will end. There will be no more rich, no more poor. Everyone will have perfect health care, perfect schools. Everyone will have equity, and everyone will be equal. And those were the same promises that Fidel Castro had made to Cubans over 60 years ago. Yeah, in fact, here's Fidel Castro promising democracy and freedom to his people. Watch.
There is not communism or Marxism in our ideas. Our political philosophy is representative democracy.
See, Fidel Castro promised democracy, but he delivered enslavement to the Cuban people and the elites in Cuba's government. It's the same pitch that communists always make. We're doing it for you when, in fact, they're actually doing it for themselves. They consolidate power, they seize wealth, they censor speech, they imprison anyone who disagrees. And then, because the communist system doesn't work, the elites live the high life, while the country they rule quickly decays, just as every other communist country before them have done. You know what? It's amazing. Cuba is such a beautiful country. It's crumbling on itself, and it's not because of the United States embargo. Remember, Cuba is free to trade with every other country in the world. I actually went and looked this up. I talked about this on radio today. The percentage of how much in trade, exports, imports they do with countries like Canada and France and Venezuela and Germany and elsewhere. So if their system worked, the American embargo would be no big deal. And remember, Obama had briefly rolled back that embargo. So if that embargo was the problem, then all of the problems in Cuba should have been solved for the period of time during the Obama administration that he had rolled back that embargo. But it didn't, and it can't, because the communist system, that is what is broken.